while ago, Sisigad offered me a scooter, and I asked for their biggest Aero Max Plus Plus scooter. And we had tried filming a video before, but I was sick and it didn't work out too well. But there was some footage of that at least, a nice view of the bridge. It's a little bit heavy. I don't know for sure if it's necessarily great for our situation where we live in an apartment, because you know how 1930s apartments are, they have like 30 feet of flat and then one step, and then 30 feet of flat and one step. It's just really annoying. I think the build quality of this is really good. Here's a view of it inside. I had tried to rig up a thing to test it, but my power tester just wasn't working with it. But I'm gonna be honest, just looking at the size of the battery, yeah, it's big enough. It's one of those things where I've done some reviews where I haven't even published them because I actually have standards, and well, those batteries weren't big enough. But this one, I honestly don't have to torture myself with testing it to get the exact amp hours. Because also, with riding it, I find that I get enough range out of it. So I've put a fair number of miles in this thing, and I've kind of abused it a little bit. It has, its main claim to fame is its suspension, which I feel like is a little bit stiff for somebody that's 140 pounds. Because when I first rode it, I had my feet up near the front, and the suspension was so tight that it was like tapping, and it was rattling me a bit. When I stand right at the back, it's a little bit better, but obviously it's meant for somebody that's a little bit heavier. Maybe this is more of a guy's scooter, somebody that's like 160 pounds, something like that. And I would say, aside from that, the only other thing is just that they should have put skid plates on the bottom, like some Teflon or some plastic runners, because there's some screws that stick out and they run into like the marble steps of our apartment pretty badly. And also the sticker on the bottom is just basically torn up. So if they added some plastic runners, even some Teflon runners, that'd be great. This thing, it can get up to like 22 miles an hour. The speed is really good. I do like the responsiveness. This has a feature where you have to kick it started, otherwise you can't just have it go from a dead stop, because they don't want it to whip out from underneath you. And I think there's a feature to turn that off in the manual. This also has something, I'm not going to count it as a bad thing. A lot of e-bikes and scooters, they have a odometer that just saves by like an integer of the mile. They don't save a decimal point. And so I've done like 35 miles on this. I've actually been putting a good number of miles on this. And I've been toying around with the brakes and stuff like that. I believe it might have an electromechanical brake in the back, because in the first video that we filmed, I noticed that it had a clicking sound in the back. You hear that chunk?
Oh, I do.
Well, I think I contacted them, I sent them the video, and then I also realized, I bet that's probably an electronic brake. So I think, because the other scooter we had an electronic brake. So I think whenever you apply the brakes at a certain speed, it kicks in using a resistive load to turn this brushless DC motor into a brake. And the brakes are really good. I find the disc brakes to be more than I would ever need. The other scooter I had thought about cutting up, but I ended up selling it to our friend and getting my Makita fan jacket with the money. This one I think I might be keeping. Now, let's see about taking it for a ride, because around the buildings that we have in Lansdowne, they put in very, very thick lines between the sidewalk tiles, and the sidewalk with the thick divots is a real pain. But with asphalt, it's just totally different. Like if you can ride this thing on the road, it's like a magic broomstick or something like that. Let me take the camera. And let's adjust this. So it does have a headlight. which I find pretty agreeable. Riding one-handed is not a very smart idea. Ooh. I don't like riding one-handed. The low speed control is okay. Let's see how low we can go. I probably shouldn't have put it on high speed. You know, I tend to be a motorcycle person, two-wheel person, e-bikes. And so for me, standing up is a new concept. But I don't want to run out of asphalt. It's 4th of July today, and there's a lot of people out. Makes me really happy to see. I think for this one, I will be modifying it to hold. Ooh. Yeah, the brake's actually a little bit too stiff. This is the turning radius that you get. Obviously, so you can't jackknife it and gut yourself. Which, again, that's pretty smart. Woo. One-handed operation is a little bit hard for the camera. You know, with the bicycle, this is just something to be expected with a scooter. You should always use two hands. And with a bicycle, you can get away with it, but not so much with this.
Having fun?
Yeah, I'm having fun. This is one of those things where it has kind of replaced the, oh, I'm still getting over being sick. I can't remember. I think we actually did get COVID because it's just lingering. The Isenwheel U1. You know, it's a weird little tiny bike. I do like that it doesn't scrape on the steps, but this one's a little bit lighter. I think it's 38 pounds. And I feel like it has a longer battery life because I haven't even gotten a full charge out of this, and I've done a good number of miles. I'm presuming I've probably done at least 20, maybe 30 miles, and I've even taken long ways home. It's funny, the trip to or from the shop to our apartment is like 0.7 of a mile. So it doesn't show up on the odometer. The brakes, you can actually just rely on one or the other and it works pretty well. So I'm thinking that's probably one indicator that it's probably meant for a much bigger person. I probably could have asked for the smaller scooter, which in the future I might review that as well. This honestly might be enough stopping power to even stop for somebody that's like 250 pounds or 300 pounds. I went with the super low speed. Okay, so the low speed is about 4 miles an hour. You really have to put yourself off the back and be leaning at an angle with the brake, because even the electric brake is pretty stiff. That took me a bit to get used to. I think I took the caps off of these, and I think they're just springs. Same with the suspension down here; it's just springs. I believe it's a 36-volt battery. Yeah, I think it's 36-volt battery. So that, I only got up to 19 miles an hour there, but that was still a little bit fast because honestly, I think 20 is plenty, and 17 miles an hour is, that's the point at which when you fall, you really start hurting stuff. You don't want to go much past that. Taking it up steps, it's a bit long, and you kind of have to drag it up the steps. At least the steps that we have, where it's like 30 feet, one step, 30 feet, another one step. They didn't really think about that kind of stuff back in the 1930s. And I have tried moving it like this, where I flip it down over my shoulder. But it's pretty uncomfortable, I'm gonna be honest. I've also tried just keeping it at 90 degrees and having it over my shoulder. There's a lot of sharp grommet bits here, which I'm probably gonna remove. And I might add a 3D printed saddle. Sorry. Didn't see the kids back there, whoops. So here we're at the, what's this bridge called? The maximum load limit bridge? Yeah. really sucky name, but they built this bridge a couple years ago. Actually, we didn't even know it was here until like a year later because we were so busy with getting the apartment and me getting jobs and stuff like that. I know for a fact you will not be wanting to try the scooter on this bridge. With the vertigo feeling.
No.
Tice is not a fan of scooters.
I'm pretty bad at them.
Yeah, and I get that. Like, I'm a two-wheel person, but I'm a two-wheel sit-down kind of person. Although I'm two-wheel sit-down with something between my legs kind of person.
See, that's
because the scooter that has the seats also feels a little bit weird because there's nothing for you to grab with your feet. I'm used to grabbing a gas tank or a diamond frame or a step-through frame or whatever. You can see in the water pretty well. I always love this driveway. It's a one-way street though. Believe it or not, this road path, or this forest path is actually a street. It doesn't go into anything. It just goes to the Swedish cabin. But that keeps the traffic fairly calm. Everybody is out today. It's so cute to see. Me and Thice are making our way towards the railroad tracks. And I'm so glad I moved out to the East Coast because we're making our way to the railroad tracks and the waterfall. You know, in Illinois, there's like the railroad tracks and the mosquito pits. There's no waterfalls. But out here, it's the railroad tracks, the trolley tracks actually, and the waterfall. That's a little part of that spot where it vibrates a little bit too much. Those kind of, that particular texture of cracks. I'm not going very fast because I'm really afraid of falling off being one-handed. It's really, really difficult, but oh well. It does have fairly good throttle control, so I am happy about that. I feel like maybe making video reviews is a bit... I mean, the bikes are just mostly good. Well, then again, I'm remembering the ones that I canceled the review of and told them I'm not reviewing this thing, so, well... Okay, so there is still companies that make bad stuff, but it's not really... it's not surprising this worked out, because this stuff is really good quality. Ooh, I don't think I can go down this. Of course, I fell forward and hit the off button. I didn't realize that was like a 1 foot drop there.
You okay?
Yeah, it's okay. I just fell forward and hit my arms. So is that the trolley bridge?
I think so.
Yeah. Is this the trolley line? And the path keeps going past that. You can hear everybody's having parties and stuff. It's a nice day out. The last week was 102, but today it's like 85.
Yeah,
it's not
like
bad
that.
at all.
No.
Which that's one reason why I like Fahrenheit for personal measurements, because it's like 0 is way too cold and 100 is off limits. And since in the Midwest you would regularly get 0 degrees and 100 degrees, so it would be like, oh, it's 50% good, or it's 78% good, or 78% too much. And when it gets to 100%, that's it.
Yeah.
I think I'm not going to bother trying to hold the camera and record, because this is really a two-handed deal. This is the kind of thing, if you're interested in buying a scooter such as this, also look into buying a good backpack. Really cool. I like how there's a lot going on here, and you have a cute little SEPTA station up there. Fireworks and stuff going on.
I know.
The cops are out in droves too.
Yeah, because people are having fires out in the woods.
Yeah, I'm probably doing other stuff.
Well, yeah.
You can see all the ripples from everybody. There's a whole bunch of people down there. Coming up the street. It's kind of cool. I guess that's what happens when you don't seal it with asphalt. That really, I bet a lot of water must have come down the valley or something.
You know, the camera doesn't really convey how steep this is.
So I'll stand in it. It's about that deep. It's enough to kind of mess up your bike riding. But should I take it at high speed? You want to go down there?
Oh, you're gonna what? You're gonna jump this?
I see now. It's a very off-road capable machine. I don't tend to do that out here, but I was very impressed. So the video, judging it based on pavement, well, it's designed for something else, I think. So this might be good for that kind of thing. Wow, this is such a cool waterfall. People are everywhere out here. Well, guys, the pathway is pretty overgrown. And we're near that medical technology company that we filmed the Isnwheel videos by. That building that's been abandoned since the 90s. You know, there's got to be some Pentiums and 486s in there. Should we kind of head back now since we're kind of far from the car? Because this trail's actually pretty long.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You know, we got to end the video with one thing. You know what that is.
I do.
I scoff at this sign. But it's probably good to have it here. I realized that I was still operating on motorcycle brain here. Because 7-inch ledge,
Oh my god.
who cares? But this thing would care a lot. I'd probably fuck up the suspension. Like that. But more energetic. Ooh. Yeah. Right there. It broke it off. Yeah. So definitely needs to have a skid plate on it. And that would be for the best. Because it's just very long and it's just a very substantial scooter. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little look at the Sisigad Aeromax Plus Mark. And thank you very much for watching. See ya. I think it went up to like 5 inches there. Even he's not doing it. When I saw the car go through it, some went away, so it was only like that much.
Yeah.
And I keep getting excited in motorcycle brain, but it's not a motorcycle, it's an electric scooter. It's not waterproof.